Okay, I think you're ready.
Good shape? Yep. Thank you. That's we're all good on. Everybody good up on the dais? Yes. Great, good start. Okay. Now, I call this March 2nd, 2021 meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Rich, would you lead us to the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel? Here. Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. We have a quorum. I will note that we are being live streamed right now. It's going out to our YouTube channel for public consumption for the time being, and hopefully for only the immediate future. That will be the only way the public has to view and participate in Board of Commissioners meetings. Additionally, if any member of the public wants to comment, they can do so by sending me an email at mboyd@co.lawrence.pa.us. That, once received, will be entered into the record in the minutes as if it were normal and ordinary public comment. That's mboyd@co.lawrence.pa.us. And please include the subject line public comment so we know what exactly to do with it. In other words, we get commented, we got an email from a constituent today. Not public comment, they wanted assistance relating to something. But if you want it to be recorded in the minutes as public comment, please indicate as such. Row officer reports and comments. We have our treasurer here with us today, I believe, for our monthly revenue report.
Our first one.
Rich, would you like to approach the bench?
Absolutely. Please. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing today?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And I hear congratulations on your order, Commissioner Vogler. Grandchild?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
That's
very
awesome.
much. You've been down that road,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
So number 2 feet?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Rich.
Congratulations.
Still haven't seen a picture, by the way.
Well, I haven't been allowed to see him yet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of my having had COVID, the doctor wants me to wait another week or two.
Aw.
So, one of those things.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good to see everybody.
Yes.
All right, I'm happy to report our very first Lawrence County Treasurer's Report for 2021. As you know, 51,687 tax bills were mailed out throughout the county on February 5th. The total potential collections for 2021 at face value are a little over $30 million. I'm happy to say in the month of February, we collected $3.1 million in a little under 3 weeks. So
So we're already at 10% collection.
yes, yes.
Fantastic.
So once again, thank you to the taxpayers of Lawrence County
Yes.
for stepping up and coming forward. We greatly appreciate that. The tax outreach will start on March 16th. I'm really looking forward to that. We will be COVID friendly as well.
Great.
We'll be going out with the masks and gloves, and we have the shield that maintenance provided for us, so it will be safe for us and for our taxpayers coming to the venues. So that begins March 16th down in Taylor Township.
Great.
So,
Excellent.
looking forward to that. Yes. As you know, our Tran note is at $3 million at 0.97% from Huntington Bank. Any questions?
Yeah, I have two.
Yeah.
Both pretty much unrelated. I have a couple a little bit related. Number one, and I know it was a different set of circumstances last year because we were a little bit later in sending those tax bills out. Do you know what collections were for the month of February in 2020?
I do. They were a little, I think, under 2 million, close to 2 million.
Okay.
And everything. I know back in 2019, things were normal. There was no COVID. And we were a little over 3 million. I checked, this still beats it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
during COVID, the 3.1 is the highest.
Well, and of course, part of that's probably attributable to the fact that the tax millage rate was a little different in 19 than
That's true too.
in
That's true.
21.
Absolutely. But all things given,
Yes.
I'm very happy with these numbers. They show me in the year, I think we're off to a good start.
Second question for you. Is revenue rolling in pretty steadily?
Yes.
Do you think we'll be in a position here within the next couple of weeks to maybe pay off half of the Tran?
I hope so. We've already collected over what we have out for the Tran.
Right.
Yes, I do. I mean, based on the mill is very heavy. Even Tuesdays are normally lighter, and I just processed the mill. There's quite a bit there for
Okay.
Tuesday. So people are utilizing the Dropbox, so thank you to that.
Sure.
They're using the online and the credit card as well too. It's going to be interesting to see if I have activity at the
Right.
outreaches. We're getting calls, just confirming that I will be there, so we'll see what happens with it. But, yes, I'm very happy with the way, the tax bills are coming in. So I hope to be able to say, hey, in the March, we can look to do something.
Great.
Yeah, but so far so good. I mean, if this trend continues, we had a ton yesterday. Off Tuesday, a lot of good mails coming in.
Great. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, so
Great.
keep it going. But thank you to the taxpayers once again. Really appreciate that. So
Questions, comments?
And you will be at Taylor Township on the 16th.
on the 16th, yes.
And do you, and I'm sure you do, have a schedule on your site for the
Oh, yes.
outreach?
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
It's on the county website.
Mhm.
It's actually on the back of the county tax bill too. And everything, what we did on the front in little blocks. And just because we're going to a specific area, anybody can go on there. You can go,
Correct.
whatever's convenient for you. You could bring, if you're coming to Taylor and you want to bring, Shenango, or Elwood, whatever.
Just not specific to that area, it's a
No,
tax outreach
no,
for
it's just
anyone at that
gonna be,
location.
Be convenient in the municipality.
Okay,
Questions, comments?
No, thank you. I appreciate
excellent,
the
thank you so
update.
much, it is good to hear.
Very
Yes.
welcome. Thank you.
I had one more thing that popped in my head. Has JR talked to you about the, I think it's called the PACE program relating to, there's a lending program for businesses through DEP.
He has not.
Okay, he's gonna reach out shortly, just to give you a heads up
Okay.
on that.
All right.
And the other thing I think we'll see in here next week too for our bank RFP.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking
Okay.
forward to that.
All right.
Definitely. So,
All right,
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rich.
You bet.
Public comments, again, please email those to mboyd@co.lawrence.pa.us, subject line public comment. Fiscal and contractual, we have no advertising for bids or proposals, though as I just noted, next week, we will. We have no receipt of bids or proposals. Does anybody know, and Joe, maybe this is a question for you, do we know when we're getting bids back for, Banks Covered Bridge?
March 8th.
Yeah.
So next week?
Next,
It'll be on Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Taylor called. They said they'll be here.
Okay, great. Great, get moving on that. No fiscal reports, that actually might be something we just take out of the agenda entirely. No report on quotes. We have 2 warrant registers from February 23rd and February 26th. I'll give my colleagues a minute to review the warrant registers and then take a motion to accept and file such registers. For those of you who might be unaware, the warrant register is the culmination. I'm doing, as I understand, there's some people watching. us today.
Yes, please do, yes.
The warrant register is the
I put in
culmination
simply paying the bills.
of the county's financial process, how we pay for things. What happens is a individual who works for us or an individual who is a row officer, the controller's office, the treasurer's office, as you just saw, the Court of Common Pleas will submit what's called a purchase order, or basically an ask for money to be spent on a certain thing. That's sent to the controller's office. They sign off that they have money in their account to pay it. From there, that comes up to the Board of Commissioners. If 2 commissioners sign it, it's good to get paid. It needs 2 signatures in order for anything to get paid. Once 2 commissioners have signed off on it, that purchase order then goes back down to the controller's office. The controller then has the authority and approval from us to pay whatever invoice that might be. It could be something as simple as staples. It could be postage. It could be technology upgrade, computers, anything that the department might need and has submitted a request for. That bill is paid. The controller marks down any and all payments that he's made on what's called the warrant register, which we're seeing now. And then the final step in that process is we approve and confirm that the controller has indeed paid out what he's been asked to pay out, and is also not paid out anything that he shouldn't have paid out. So that's what we're doing right now.
And with that explanation, I had the opportunity to review, and it is just 2 of them, and they're, sometimes we have 3 or 4 in a given time period. So I will move that the warrant register be accepted.
We have a motion? Second. We have a second. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Warrant registers accepted and filed. Up next, we have approval of the minutes from Tuesday, February 23 and Friday, February 26th. Under normal circumstances, we would only have one set of minutes to approve. With our special meeting Friday to vote on contract with LCEDC for our hospitality program for grants to small businesses. We do have two sets of meeting minutes. Again, I'll give my colleagues a minute to approve the minute, or to check over the minutes, and then take a motion to approve.
Could I ask, when we do that, Mr. Chairman, can we do them separately? And the reason I ask, I was not available last Tuesday. Probably better that I abstain on
Correct.
Tuesdays, but we were all here on Friday, and I
Friday,
feel comfortable voting,
sure.
so if you don't mind.
No.
Thank you.
Then I will move to accept the minutes from the Tuesday, February 23rd meeting.
All right, I will second that. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, and any abstentions?
I will abstain, please.
Do we have a motion for 26th?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, no presentation, any written communications, any staff reports here above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments. I had one, I lost it, so we're gonna move on to Loretta.
Okay.
You'll get it back.
Well, you'll see, right, it'll come back, and I know Dan will probably say it. Everybody is catching what he has with his memory.
No, I don't wish that on you.
He's very hard on himself, but.
It's still, but by the way, it's still a much better memory than I would say
Absolutely.
in terms of remembering names and faces.
I hope to learn even half of what he has forgotten in his years, right?
Loretta's being too kind. She and I were on a Zoom meeting yesterday, and I made somewhat of a fool of myself by not remembering a couple things I should have.
No, you did not. No, you
Well,
did not.
thank you, Loretta.
I attributed to it, when you're busy, you sometimes don't have a minute to collect your thoughts and say something, so.
You're being generous, but thank you.
As our chairman mentioned earlier, we do have visitors via Zoom this morning. I was contacted by a friend of mine who is a teacher at the Newcastle area junior, senior high school, Mr. Robert Barella, and his class, autistic support class, is viewing us via our YouTube channel. They have an interest and are learning different forms of government, politics, voting as part of their curriculum that they have. So I am speaking to them on Thursday via Zoom, but I thought, as an extension of that maybe this morning they could view our meeting and learn what we do here as part of our positions as commissioners and elected officials, and then questions on Thursday or comments that they would have, and we would move forward from there. So good morning to Mr. Barella and his classroom. I did send them a copy of the agenda so that they could somewhat follow to see what we're doing and some of the resolutions. I'm glad you clarified the warrant register, because I said it's just the process of paying bills and moving on forward from there. But I look forward to getting to their class via Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, whatever it may be. There's a variety of different platforms to do that from, but look forward to an interesting bit of conversation. So
It's a pity they couldn't come in person.
I know, and maybe next year it could be possible with a new class coming in, if they would choose to do so. Give them a
We're
tour.
bringing the pizza and everything.
There you go. How about that? We'll see what we can do for you. That being said, I did want to mention too that, it's been something that we have mentioned before and talked about before, is, through the COVID-19 process and things moving forward. And I know Commissioner Wade had mentioned before that things have just not gone well with it. as far as disseminating information and being involved at the commissioner's level with different things. And that is a concern, and has been a concern, and it is happening. And, you know, with the questions and phone calls that we get as far as the vaccine rollout as well, we try to be as much in the loop as we possibly can, but at this point in time, the commissioners at our level, at the county level, we are maybe a secondary or tertiary part of the process, if there at all. But rest assured, every one of us, each in a different way, has received a phone call or made an outreach call. We've met and tried to put things together for, you know, a vaccine clinic. We know that that is happening now. We also know that there are independent local pharmacists that have been answering the call for the vaccine rollout. So I believe here, you know, for Lawrence County, and I speak for myself, but, you know, for the county as well, that we're doing everything that we possibly can to try to get our residents vaccinated in the proper orders that we can, and it's just getting the vaccine available to us. So we're hoping that that does get better in the future, and I commend everyone from, you know, UPMC to different pharmacies to pharmacists for doing the best they can in the situation that we have. So thank you, and also shout out to them as well. Thanks.
And Dan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And a warm welcome to Mr. Barella and his students. So I'm sorry we can't see you in person, but we appreciate your taking the time to join us today. I wanted to give just a very brief update, because I haven't done this yet, and quite frankly, haven't even spent too much time with the two of you about this, but I'll take just 2 minutes, if I may, to give an update on the status of the Election Law Advisory Board, to which I was appointed last year. And just a quick reminder that this board was created a year ago by the Pennsylvania legislature and signed into law by the governor. It's a 23-member board. Actually, there are more people than the 23. The 23 are the people who were nominated by the governor and confirmed by the state senate, and then there are 5 others from the legislature who sit on this board. And the composition consists of 1 member from each congressional district. They require that no more than half be registered with the same political party, and the groups being represented include individuals who are affiliated with organizations that advocate for individuals with disabilities, represent groups that advocate for voting rights, and people who represent either directly as county commissioners or county election officials. The board has actually only met once, and it was virtual, like most meetings are, and that was on January 28th of this year. The primary action that was taken at that meeting was the selection of a chairperson and a vice chairperson. The board chose County Commissioner Kenneth Lawrence, who is from Montgomery County, which is the 3rd largest county in the Commonwealth. Outside of, they're situated just outside of Philadelphia. Mr. Lawrence is a Democrat. The vice chair is a county commissioner from Snyder County in the central part of the state, Joe Kantz, and Commissioner Kantz is a Republican. The state agency that is handling the administrative matters for this organization, for this board, is the Joint State Government Commission, which is based in Harrisburg. They have a number of attorneys on their staff that are focusing on this group. The chairman, Mr. Lawrence, did send out correspondence indicating that the board will reconvene on April 8th. Not sure if it will be all virtual or perhaps a combination of in-person and virtual. We don't know that yet. The one thing that he did ask for, he did ask that each member submit a listing of their 3 top priorities for this board to consider. And I spoke directly with our elections director, Ed Allison, and got his input, and felt that he is probably within our county, the best person to give input. And these are the priorities that I submitted to Chairman Lawrence. Number one, push the time back for the deadline for mail-in ballot applications to coincide with the registration deadline. Number two, and I think this one is probably across the board. I suspect this will probably be the number one priority. Allow additional time for pre-canvass activity. And this third one, I'm not sure how the other members may respond, but I think Mr. Allison feels it's an issue that does need to be looked at seriously, in his opinion, and that is the retention and recruitment of election day poll workers. And our office here, and this is true in many counties, we're finding it to be increasingly difficult to get folks to work at the polling places on election day. And so that was the third priority that was submitted to Chairman Lawrence. So as noted, the board is scheduled to meet. I want to emphasize it is an advisory board. We have no authority to change laws or enact laws. As you all know, that rests with the Pennsylvania legislature. I'm hopeful that they will, when we finally come up with a finished product that makes recommendations to the legislature, I'm hopeful that they will give serious consideration to what this board ultimately presents. Is this board moving as quickly as I would like for it to? I'd have to say no. I wish it were at a little bit of a faster pace, but at least we do have another meeting coming up in a little over a month from now. So I'll continue to keep you updated. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And hopefully with my rambling, you remembered what you wanted to talk about.
No, absolutely.
Okay, thank you both.
Well, thank you for the
Sure,
update.
thank you for the
sir.
update, yes.
Keep us on the loop. All right, we'll move on to new business portion of the agenda. It's a short one today. Joe, looks like that MHDS transfer did make it on, so we're in good shape. First up, we have a number of board appointments. This is actually something I learned yesterday, by the way. I did not realize that the Board of Commissioners makes appointments to the Federated Library Board. But Lawrence County Federated Library Board operates Federated Library System in Lawrence County, which consists of 3 libraries. I'm not going to remember the exact names of the libraries, but Danny might be able to help me out with that. There's one in Newcastle, one in Elwood, one in well, I guess North Beaver now.
Yeah, just
Right.
outside of it. They moved, you're right, Bessemer.
Do you know what the are there names associated with them, or is it just, I think the Newcastle Library is just the Newcastle
Yes, and
Library.
Elwood is the same, and the one in Bessemer is named in honor, boy, I'm embarrassed to say it's not coming to me right now. Maybe by the end of the meeting, I'll remember. But yes, the Bessemer North Beaver Library is named in honor of someone, and I'll try to remember.
Thank you. The county assists in the funding of this entity through a dedicated millage. It's something around, it's not very high. It's actually of 3 tax millages levied, one for the county general fund, one for the Federated Library System, and one for county debt service. It's the lowest of the 3, and it generates around $450,000 a year, specifically to be utilized for the purposes of upkeeping and staffing those 3 libraries. But we have on the agenda today, I'm just going to run through the 3 names. In fact, we'll take the 3 resolutions separately, but we'll run through the 3 names. Appointments to the Board of Directors of the Federated Library System. Mr. Philip Tran, Mr. Joseph Ambrosini, and Mr. Thomas Mansell. Questions, comments on any of those 3 potential appointments from my colleagues?
No, sir.
All right, we also have a board appointment.
I'm
Board
sorry,
appointment.
Mr. Chairman.
No, you're good. Board appointment today to the Southwest Pennsylvania Commission. The county gets 5 appointments to the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. Just by nature of the commission, all 3 commissioners in Lawrence County sit on that board. I sit on the executive board as Lawrence County's basically the way we divvied up responsibility, full-time or dedicated representative to that entity. The Southwest Pennsylvania Commission is responsible for the Southwest Pennsylvania region, which consists of 10 counties, all transportation planning on the regional level and economic development planning on the regional level. Lawrence County is unique insofar as we're actually members of both the Southwest Pennsylvania Commission and the Northwest Pennsylvania Commission. With our Southwest Pennsylvania Commission providing our transportation planning services, and the Northwest providing economic development services. But that being said, we have 3 commissioner appointments to that board, myself, Commissioner Vogler, and Commissioner Spielvogel, and then we also get to appoint 2 members of our county, and they could be employed with county government, they could be employed in municipal government, they could be basically any individual who we so choose. Historically, the county planning director has been a member of this board, and there's also another appointment, which is currently held by Jim Gagliano. Today, we're reappointing Lawrence County Planning Director, and I use Lawrence County Planning Director instead of Amy McKinney, because if it wasn't Amy, it would still be, I believe, whoever the planning director might be at that given time, based on the nature of that board. And I believe that we'll probably be having a vote on the 5th seat here within the next couple of weeks, as soon as we can make a determination as to who should fill that seat. Any questions, comments for that appointment? No. Seeing none, I'll number them after I just finish running through. Vanessa gets back, so I don't know what number we're on. This is a resolution for discussion of possible. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. Resolution for discussion of possible.
$900,000.
$900,000. Budget amendment for Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation, the amount of $965,540. This specific budget amendment will allow us to fulfill our now contractual obligation to Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation, who is administering our hospitality industry recovery program. These are grants for small businesses operating in the hospitality industry, restaurants, bars, hotels, businesses of that nature. Grant program itself, we just finalized the structure of it yesterday, and right now we're printing up basically marketing materials, printing up an application form, getting all that back end work done to allow businesses to apply for this program. Application will be out no later than March 15th, and that's per statute.
Okay.
The only other thing I want to note, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Vogler because I think he has the name.
He figured it out. I actually tried the system here, I couldn't get my phone to email somebody to find out what the name is.
Well, forgive my interruption.
No, go for it.
And it was interesting, I kind of put the burden on Vanessa, and probably about 3 seconds before she walked in the door, I remember it was Campbell.
Oh.
But it is the F.D. Campbell Memorial Library, and what was holding me back is the Campbell name is also a New Wilmington name as well, and I thought, well, wait a minute now, am I getting New Wilmington and Bessemer mixed up? But no, the official name of the library in the Bessemer area, because as you correctly noted, the library used to be physically within the borough limits, and they recently bought a facility just outside of Bessemer in North Beaver Township. It is the F.D. Campbell Memorial Library. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for your indulgence.
Oh, I knew there was one name for something, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember it either.
If you would have said it, I would have concurred with you, because that would have jogged my memory.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you both.
The other thing I'll note, it's already been made mention of, the county was also awarded $5.6 million for rent relief, utility relief, and homelessness support funding. We're finalizing everything relating to that. In fact, before we came down here, we had to sign some paperwork relating to getting those funds. But that program, we're working very closely with Lawrence County Community Action Partnership, and that program will be in place very shortly, I believe. We have a number 49.
For the first one. Start with the first one.
All right, resolution 2021-49 will be Mr. Philip Trandak's appointment. 50 will be Joe Ambrosini's appointment. 51 will be Thomas Mansell's appointment.
Morgan, sorry. Michael, he brought something in. Did you start with 049?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What did he bring in?
He, purchase order that he talked to me about yesterday.
And you don't think that, and I'm not saying this is your fault, but I'm saying that couldn't have waited until after the public meeting was concluded?
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, she can't.
I'm not mad at her. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Mr. Auckland, I think, after this. 52 is Amy McKinney, and 53 would be that budget amendment.
Mhm.
I'm just saying I wouldn't walk in during a court hearing. Transfers, administrative, we have a number of them. First, we had a budget underestimate, which is always a good,
Yes.
in this case, might not be such a good thing. But we purchased office equipment
Okay.
for some need that there is right now out of the church for our MHDS facilities, specifically the central intake, which is in the planning processes right now. So they're moving $10,657.85 from the contingency account to office equipment. That's any questions on that one?
Just for my own clarification.
Yes.
And forgive perhaps my ignorance. Is this the MHDS contingency account?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
Yes. Public defender. This again, I think last week we did the same thing. The controller requires certain things to come out of certain funds. That everything was budgeted for. It's just they want the specific expenditure to come out of a different line item. And so that I'm removing that expenditure from public defender maintenance and repair to public defender equipment lease. This is in relation to our copier contracts. For Thonotary, same situation, moving $2,512 from maintenance and repair to equipment lease. JPO, same situation, $1,841. Register and recorder, same situation, $902. This is the cable bill was a little bit more expensive than originally anticipated. I don't know exactly what the cause of that is, but we're diving into it. And so it's that, and we're moving $1,000 from Commissioner Contingency to Commissioner Cable.
I can tell you, and perhaps Loretta might confirm this, since two of us are residential Comcast customers.
Mhm.
Our residential bills have gone up
Yes.
recently.
Right.
I don't know if there's a correlation here or not.
I bet there is.
Do you get Comcast where
Armstrong.
you, that's what I thought, yeah, but I know our Comcast
Yes.
bills have gone up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That's good to know. Because again, I'm in New Wilmington. I think.
Yes.
I don't know if there's any other area which fits Armstrong in the county.
I think Elwood City,
Elwood City does. Yeah, that area does.
and I think Wampum. When I used to live in Wampum, we
Okay.
had
I'm not
Armstrong.
sure how far back, right, how far it comes up into the county.
And I know it might have something to do with the boroughs themselves, because I know the reason why New Wilmington has Armstrong as opposed to Comcast or somewhere else is back 2 decades, 3 decades ago, New Wilmington Borough decided to string up their own cable network.
Mhm.
And so for a number of years, they operated their own cable network.
Mhm.
Everything,
Mhm.
all the channels had to be signed every year. All the
Oh,
contracts had to be done.
okay.
They were literally administering
Right.
their own. It was Comcast, but it was New Wilmington.
Mhm.
And back, I remember I was maybe 8 or 12 years old, and I remember all the damn channels changed.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I remember I was furious about that.
I was gonna say, it had to be hard.
I couldn't find my Disney.
See, there you go.
But the rationale for that was it sold to Armstrong.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if potentially Elmwood had a similar setup or Wampum had a similar setup that allowed Armstrong to come in and gain monopoly rights over those boroughs. But it would certainly make sense. And from a business model perspective, it also makes sense because of the density of those boroughs as opposed to townships. But anyway, I'll take a motion to approve administrative transfers A through F.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. I'll take a motion to amend the agenda to allow for voting on resolutions 2021-49 through 2021-53.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. During discussion, hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 2021-49, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Philip Tran is representing Newcastle Public Library, is hereby appointed Lawrence County Federated Library System Board of Directors to complete the term of Patricia Bernard, who is unfortunately deceased, for a term expiring on June 30th, 2022. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. A motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-50, now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Joseph Ambrosini, representing Newcastle Public Library, is hereby reappointed to the Lawrence County Federated Library System Board of Directors for a term expiring on June 30th, 2023. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Only thing I'll note, as I often do on these board appointments, I will be voting no on this resolution. It's not in any way, shape, or form an indication of disapproval for Mr. Ambrosini. I like Joe. I think he does a phenomenal job in all capacities he serves in. I think he's probably a great mind to have on that board from a financial perspective. At the same time, I did make a promise when I was running that I would not vote to reappoint anybody who served more than 2 terms or 8 years. Joe unfortunately fits into that category. To that end, I'll be voting no, but I don't want that to be taken as a sign of disrespect or a sign of disapproval. That's just me fulfilling a campaign promise. Any other discussion? Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-51. Now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, Thomas Mansell, representing Newcastle Public Library, is hereby appointed to the Lawrence County Federated Library System Board of Directors to complete the term of Susan McInnes for a term expiring on June 30th, 2021. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second, may I make a brief comment?
Yes.
Just for the record, and it is noted on these resolutions, the first 2 gentlemen, Mr. Tramdak and Mr. Ambrosini, reside in the city of Newcastle, and Mr. Mansell is a resident of Neshannock Township. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-52, now therefore resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that the following individuals should be appointed to serve as a Lawrence County representative of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission. Amy McKinney, Lawrence County Planning Director, with a term to expire December 31, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Good motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Final one, Resolution 2021-53, now therefore resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing CARES Act fund revenue account by $968,540 and increasing Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation account by $968,540. Again, this allows us to transfer monies to Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation in order to administer our hospitality grant program. Do you have a motion?
I do, but I will have a question on it as well. 2 different numbers.
Yeah, so the CARES Act, when I was going through the funds to determine where we should put the revenue increase, the rationale for the CARES Act revenue account was we didn't have another account to put it in. There's no account created for the CHIRP program. From a financial accounting perspective, CARES grant could easily be renamed COVID grant revenue account.
My apologies. I was referring to where it's on our agenda. It's $965,540.
It's 968.
And it's 968. That okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No. Really, the accounts? Who are you talking to?
Yeah, it's 968.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we had the correct number going into the resolution.
Yes.
Okay. So I will then move for that resolution to be accepted.
Second. Motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Concludes the voting portion of the agenda. We have no ordinances on the table for introduction for final action. Announcements, next regularly scheduled commissioners meeting will be for 10 a.m. on Tuesday, March 9th in the commissioners meeting room. And the planning commission meeting is canceled for 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. Any additional announcements from either one of my colleagues?
Yeah, if you don't mind, it just dawned on me that a week from today is correct me if I'm wrong, the last day for individuals to file nominating petitions for local offices that are up this year. So I just want to note that if anybody who's listening has an interest or desire to run for a local office, school board, township supervisor, borough council, in some instances, borough mayor, other offices that are up this year, you still have a week. You can come in, you can pick up your nominating petition, circulated. I'd say the majority of the offices only require 10 signatures. And so it's fairly easy to do. So I just want to encourage anyone who's thinking of running for an elective office, you still have a week to get everything in order. And if you do have questions, just give our elections office a call.
Absolutely.
Thank you both.
Good point.
Thank you. Any additional business that anybody has to bring up before we adjourn the meeting? All right. Public comments, again, mboyd@co.lawrence.pa.us, and comments in the form of an email, and include the subject line public comments so we know where to place the comment. Do a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. A motion to second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Thank you.